Monday, July 23rd, 2018. I think it's July 23rd.
Go with it.
Anyway, back on the mountain. Had spent a few weeks in Florida and came back to find my berries completely gone.
What?
Unbelievable. I thought I'd have some left still, and everything's completely gone. I guess between the birds and the deer and whatever else, they're all gone.
Hey, buck up, man.
Welcome back to Ray's A-Frame Adventure.
Episode 36. So what's the agenda for this episode?
Well, we're going to stain and install some doors, and I should warn Screamers reviewers there's an episode involving a snake.
Cool, let's do it.
Oh, wait a minute. There's one more here.
I got dibs on that.
Oh, that's pretty right.
Hey, I want to try.
It's just a figment of my imagination, so imagine it.
Not bad.
Gee, thanks.
Wednesday, July 25th. About 6:15 in the morning. It's a beautiful morning. Gonna try and stain the doors a dark black today to match the cabinets. See how that goes. Before I stain the doors and trim in this area the dark black to match the cabinet here in the kitchen, I've got to take some wood filler and fill in little putty and fill in some of these holes here. I've just got a little tiny drop on my finger here, and we're just gonna kind of fill in some of these areas. And see if I can fill this in here. Oops, looks like I'm gonna need a little bit more. And that just kind of rubs in there. And it is, what I'm using here this morning, it's actually a...
Real wood filler.
Yeah.
The choice of pros.
Real wood filler.
Is there an echo in here?
So let's try that again. I got a little bit of wood filler here on my end of my finger here.
Is this a rerun?
And let's see.
No, I'm just trying to show it a little more clearly.
It's not rocket science.
Gotta put some in there.
Okay, we got it.
Okay, maybe not. There it is.
Happy now?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm getting ready to stain this door in the bathroom, and once again, because the humidity has changed the room, in the room here, the door does not want to close all the way. As you can see, well, maybe you can't see because it's dark, but anyway, it's hitting at the bottom there, and clear at the top, but hitting at the bottom. So I've got to shave off this door. Okay, I'm going to trim off that little piece on the door, just a little bit on that edge there. And as you can see, I got blue tape, and the blue tape's to help protect the wood from the circular saw when you lay it on here. No matter what you do, it seems like it wants to mar the surface of the wood here. So since I'm going to stain that, I want to keep that in good shape. But anyway, I'm just going to trim off just this little tiny sliver on that door so it'll fit. Going out to the car here, I just noticed a little friend underneath the car there. If you can see him, looks like a rattlesnake.
Sure does.
Probably about 5 feet long or so.
Yeah, maybe about 4.5.
Big enough.
All right, I'm gonna have to scoot him out of here somehow.
Yeah, under the tire.
Since it's a nice clear day out, I've decided to stain the doors outside, and I've removed all of the hinges on it, so they're out of the way, and getting ready to get stained here. All right, I'm gonna use an oil-based stain to try to match my existing cabinets here, and I got this Varathane, dries in 1 hour. It says it doesn't need a preparation coat or anything beforehand, and I'm using a soft bristle brush, and we'll get started here. I'm going to apply it with soft bristle brush, yeah, and then use just a clean rag to wipe off the excess. Got the stain here, and just applying it liberally.
I thought you were concerned.
Starting first,
Funny.
again, like I painted the door earlier, in the recesses here, and then eventually the flat areas like that, and coating it. A second, coating it really solid, and then going back with my rag, which was a clean rag to start with, and obviously now it's got full of stain, and then just kind of wiping it out, smoothing it off, taking off the excess, and it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. You just got to keep it moving because the stain dries pretty quickly. It's like a 1 hour fast dry, so it starts to get absorbed in. You got to wipe it off before it gets too heavy. I didn't want to have to kill him, but I had to use the hoe. He was heading towards the cabin, so
it's okay,
up
kids.
on the rock here.
He's just sleeping.
The back door.
Just taking a nap.
I didn't want to lose him in that rock, so had to take the
Okay, maybe not.
hoe here and
Snake killer.
get him. The rattle was rattling there after I chopped him up.
Hey, I didn't want to kill it.
We'll just stay back for a little while and make sure he's completely dead.
Good idea.
Well, after much deliberation with myself,
Do you always talk to yourself?
I've got the doors here, and they're black, of course, stained.
No, never.
And I really like them.
Alrighty.
But after much deliberation, I've decided not to leave this in a natural color here, which was going to match the rest of the wood. I'm going to go ahead and paint it white. And so, being a little bit lazy here, I just masked off here, so I make it easier. Mask this off too, rather than trying to be careful cutting in. Okay, yeah, I got to remove the hinges too. All right. Anyway, so we're going to paint that white, prime it, and get it all painted white, and then the black door will sit there in the middle. And that'll kind of have a good tie-in, I think, with the kitchen area where we've got the black and the white walls. So besides that, I've also painted this door already white. So I think having this all white in there would be nice. And then with the black accent for the doors. Now that I've decided to paint this white instead of keeping it the clear natural color, as I paint it, I've got some gaps in here between the trim a little bit. So I'm just going to take my caulk gun. I'll squeeze a little caulk in there, which I'm not doing now because I don't have the handle the right way. I don't have an extra hand. Hold on.
Take your time.
Fix this. Do-de-do-de-do. Play the music. All right. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, while that's still wet here, I'm just going to go and, I know you probably still can't see this. Anyway, just squirt a light bead in there like that. And hang on, play the music again. All right, set that down. Now, and then I'm just going to come in here and just kind of take my finger and kind of squeeze that caulk up in there. Good, wipe off the excess.
Really?
And then, while it's all still wet with the paint here, I'll just go over with the paint, and it just fills it in nice and neat and cleans off any of the excess caulk, actually. I mean, I'll get most of it off here. And then just take your brush and go right over it. And so again, now as I'm talking about here, we'll go ahead and just brush it in. And any little bit of excess caulk that was on there gets forced into the crack and it gets smoothed out. And if you end up with a little crack here, like some of these areas, just a small thing, don't try to fill those in. Just take your brush, go over it, and the paint itself, especially since this is just a primer now, this is going to kind of fill in those areas. And that by the next coat, they'll be completely filled in. But any gaps that end up showing, you can throw a little caulk in there. Don't know if I mentioned this before, I don't know if I did or not, but your finish stroke should always be in the direction of the wood grain, okay? Even with the primer, it's kind of nice to kind of feather it out and just with the tip of the brush and kind of smooths it off nice and neat. Oh, one thing more, this brush is actually the same brush that I had wrapped up in plastic, I don't know, probably 2 months ago. And it's still wet inside there that I had wrapped up in the plastic bag. So I don't want to clean it. It just worked out good. So anyway.
Yeah, it looks a little rusty.
Before I put on the final coat of white paint here, I've got a sanding sponge. And it has pretty good texture on the outside of it. It's not really great for sanding wood, honestly. Even the rougher surfaces, it doesn't take off much wood. But it's great for this type of thing where you're just trying to come in between coats and knock down any burrs and just get kind of a smooth finish on that. And it does a great job, better than sandpaper, because it doesn't chew off the edges of the trim here or anything and expose any bare wood. So I really like it for that. They're great sanding sponges for that.
Still moving a bit. We'll just let them sit there for a little bit
That's gross.
until they die, and we'll dispose of them.
When's lunch?
No sense in getting accidentally dead. Before I get power on the property, I have to get my 911 mapping address, since it's just an old mining road going up through the middle of my property. It doesn't really have a name. It has an old name on it called At Pontley, which is what everybody called it after some miners, but it doesn't fly with the new mapping services. So come here in Pikeville, next to the police and detention center here, at the mapping office, the 911 office. And it was funny because I asked, how do you get there? What's your address? And actually the person in the 911 address didn't even know the address to their own building.
Sounds like me.
Anyway, we'll go inside. I've come up with some road names here. This is a list of things you can put on the end as far as the suffix, like road, pass, lane, all those things. So let me see here. My car here is nice and neat.
Right.
I've made some choices, not on that sheet. And the sheet here, yeah. So this are the choices I came up with here. Wild Mountain Way, Adventure Mountain Pass, and Wild Mountain Pass.
I like number one.
I got those approved by my daughter as well. So we're going to go with that. July 30th, early in the morning. Still kind of asleep here. But time to install the quickset bath and... what am I doing here? Yeah, bath, this one, and the bedroom, which is the same kind of
This music's sleepy.
handle unit here. And the first part is following the instructions, of course, as always.
Right.
Is drilling the hole in the door and all that stuff. But fortunately, I've got a pre-hung door, so it's already here. All that stuff's good to go. So we'll get ready to install the rest of this here in just a second, as soon as I wake up.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, the door edge is all chiseled out here for this latch part, and you just got to slide the latch in there like that, making sure that the beveled part is going to go facing towards the jamb, because as it goes, the beveled part has to
hit and then get pushed in like that. So I'm just going to put a couple screws in here, making sure this is lined up in the center of the hole, which it is. So all of that's pre-drilled, it's good to go. So we're going to get some screws in here. Okay, the two parts of the handle here, they've got pins in here. You just slide them together, line them up in the door, making sure the swoosh part here is,
Swoosh, huh?
that's technical term, the swoosh here, is kind of facing up. And of course, the handle is not facing this way, out this side, you know, which would catch the frame of the door there, but going back this way. So just line them up and they kind of just snap together there, just slide in together. And then they'll get the two screws that'll be put in here and that'll hold it together.
It'll hold the swoosh.
You got it. And it's pretty obvious, but these are the long, like a machine thread screw. So that'll just go into right here. And I'll have to jiggle those a little bit, line them up, and then just screw them in. All right. I decided to follow the instructions and take the handle off. It's got a little like set screw in here, right there. Take the handle off out of the way so that I can get to my screw here and here easier without scratching the handle. I could have done it without it, just kind of move that down a little bit and go sideways there, but it's fine. Get it out of the way and we'll do it right. Also with these screws, it's probably a good idea to use a screwdriver, not a screw gun. That way you can just feel the adjustment and tighten it up. Otherwise, use a screw gun, you get overpowered, strip the screws out, crush it, whatever. So this is just a little safer to go. Just snug them up nice and gentle. Okay, last step is to install the strike plate, which has got a little tab on it right here. And that tab just goes up into here, rests against in there. And again, this frame was already routed out for it. It had a little recess here. And then this edge here just sits up against here. So that strike plate comes and hits on this and smoothly goes into the hole here. So just a couple screws here and that'll hold it. All right, what often happens when dealing with this strike plate is, as the door comes in, the latch part here comes in and it doesn't line up with the hole. It's either a little too high or too low. In this case, it's a little bit high here. So it's coming in and it's not wanting to sit inside the hole. So before we actually install that strike plate in there, which would be in the wrong position, we've got to adjust this hole up a little bit, and we've got a notch out here to move this whole plate a little up so it'll match match the latch there when it comes in and tries to close. As you can see, it's not catching right now, and the whole thing is just up a little too high. So we're going to chisel this up here a little bit and drill this hole out a little bit and move our screw holes up some. Fun. And then let's just double check the door. So as I close the door, see now it's locked in there. So yeah, that latch actually fits inside the hole. So I think we'll be good to go. It's solid in there. Put a little wood filler inside there. So let's see. Yep, snug, locks up good. Only one thing left to do now, and that is to hide the key for the door. Where should we put the key for the door? Because this is the key that goes in there. Where should we put it? I know. Let's put it up here. Yeah, no one will know it's there.
Dude, every 5-year-old knows it's there.
Yeah, whatever.
His head pretty much severed off, but still moving.
Ew. Okay, do we have to end with such a gruesome image?
Well, that is a good news message, but you're right. Here's a better visual.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, God's creation's amazing.